Aloha.
So, welcome back to Kampai Sugai. You're actually the first guest to come back here to this house that's not living here technically. And before we introduce you, I just want to say Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
Because today is Veterans Day technically. I mean, people that watch this, it might be December. I don't know. Who knows? It might be January. It might be in the New Year's. But Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And we'll do a toast at the end. Of course, this will be to all servicemen and women that have helped protect our rights in the United States. So thank you so much. But Happy Veterans Day. And also for our guest today, this man has many talents besides being a veteran. He has, yes. I mean, I don't know if we cut to that, but he was pointing at his hat. And then for people that are listening, they can't actually see what he just did. So I'm going to describe that he pointed at his hat that had a flag on it. His truck is also full of surprises. He has a mystery box truck. If you're a podcast listener, you won't be able to see that unless you actually maybe we'll do a promo of that later. I don't know. We'll show the mystery box truck. What's in Keoni's truck? That would be a good segment. What's in Keoni's
truck today?
So thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
Keoni Maemori.
Arigato.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for being here. This is the newer set. I think if people watch this episode, they're gonna notice this is the newer set. Before it would be like I'd be traveling doing podcasts like this, but I just thought it was just easier for people to just come. We have everything in place. We have the lights, we have the cameras. I don't have to set up anything, do anything weird, And I mean, this is kind of strange. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh no, it looks amazing. I mean, you guys did a really good job.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's like the ambiance is just feels so relaxed, like a bar,
Yeah, I mean, like imagine people getting drunk here and then they just pass out during a podcast.
Is that what's gonna happen today?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty early. we're starting off
before noon. Yeah,
this is before noon. Day drinking. That's a thing, right? People do that.
Well, it is a holiday, so
true. Well, I think day drinking. Rich people do that.
Yes.
Right. Rich people have mimosas, or we're the middle of the bar, or lower middle of the bar. So
remember, 90,000 is considered low income.
Okay, so we're lower on the spectrum. We don't have mimosas. We have Pinnacle instead, or Jack Daniels. Other things, other grungier shots, I guess. But we'll get to that. But thank you for being here. And first of all, what branch of military were you?
I was in the Army.
Okay, and then what rank did you get up to?
I got up to E5.
Okay.
And my job was like a bomb specialist. They call it a combat engineer.
Okay.
So we defuse bombs, find bombs, take apart bombs, make bombs, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Have you used some of that in your field today?
I've been trying to get in, for at least 10 years, 15 years, but it's been really hard. I kind of want to keep that as something as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
We do it for film and television stuff. And, getting paid for it, it's like, ooh, you have people's lives on the line. It's pretty scary. So I'm keeping more as a hobby now.
Okay. So with being a bomb specialist and everything, because there's always a risk, you're in the field, you have a team, and was there any, a situation where maybe it kind of went down to the wire? How movies, they'll do a dramatized, it'll just kind of go down to like 2 minutes left, and then like
Yeah, you see the counter on the clock ticking
yeah,
down.
you know, the zoom in on it. Well, the cameraman's in danger as well. You know what I mean? Because you know, if it goes off, he's dead too.
A lot of times there's not even a counter in there, and the thing will go off. You know, there's so many they call them IEDs, and it's just crazy how these guys come up with these different triggers and all kinds of stuff that just like, how did we even begin with this? You know?
Yeah, because so like where did that take you in terms of like field work? You know, where would you have to travel to?
Well, a lot of it was the Corps of Engineers is in Missouri, and you know they teach you how to disable mines, how to find mines, C4, this thing called dead cord. All this explosives. I mean, back then it was kind of like all modular, but now everything is electronic. Everything is more sophisticated. Back then when we did it, it was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, here, just put these wires together and you're good to go. Now it's like all these little electronic triggers. You got Bluetooth. You got all this kind of crazy stuff.
Like Megalomaniac, some James Bond stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need Q over there to, hey, how does this work?
What was his actual name? Forgot his name.
Oh, I think they revealed it one time, and one of the later or I don't know. They keep rebooting these series to make it modern. So,
because like so like this last one, I didn't get to watch it, but I heard it.
Did it come out yet?
Yeah, the was it No Time to Die? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, did it come out?
It came out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Earlier. No, later October, I think. But it came out. People said it was long. It was mixed reviews, kind of like Quantum Solace was like that, mixed reviews. But they have like a guy like Daniel Craig, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel. But they have a really talented guy like Daniel Craig. They just put him in these weird storylines. I guess that's what people keep saying. He fits that part of James Bond, but
I didn't like him at first, but then when I watched more of the films, and it kind of grew on me because he wasn't the ideal look. Because I like the older ones like Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan. I thought they were the ideal Englishmen. Whereas Daniel Craig was like, okay. Now I hear they want to do like a woman version, like.
Well,
that's
who
fine
did, though? Gal Gadot. Nah, she's not British.
Israeli, I think she is.
She's Israeli, yeah. Because she talked about, I remember she mentioned a chocolate that she liked from Israel. I forgot the interview. Maybe it was Ellen or something like that. But yeah, she's not she's not British intelligence. I mean, they could reboot the series. I thought it was Idris Elba who was the next one.
Yeah, he'd be good. I mean, he's English too.
Yeah,
and he's I think there was in that last movie there was everybody thought there was this red herring where they had a black female 007.
Okay.
And everybody was like, "What? Is she the next one?" And then I don't know how the movie played out with that.
Well, for this one, I heard that Daniel Craig died in it. Not in real life. For people out there.
Oh, passing the torch.
Yeah, he died in like this last film. I don't know. I just heard about it, but like for me that's weird.
Spoilers.
Kind of spoilers because I didn't watch the movie, but I got spoiled from somebody else.
Oh.
So, but
now I'm gonna go look it up now.
Yeah, if he actually died or not, in real life.
Yeah, because that's the first time you see a James Bond die in a movie, right?
Right. Yeah, spoilers. That's a spoiler because people don't know that he didn't die in the other movies.
Okay, shh, we gotta talk about it.
How does so like for like theatrical? Let's go back to like bomb specialist in like theatrical sense. How does that relate to maybe in real life? Like is it kind of accurate? Is it very just too dramatic, maybe too over the top, or not as over the top?
It's a long and boring and not cinematic process. Like The Hurt Locker.
I was gonna say
Hurt Locker is a really good representation, but then that's more of a, there's a lot of theatrics to that too. I mean, the other thing is just following up and doing, like you got to clear the area. You have to make sure that everything's clear, like for miles, make sure nobody gets hurt. Buildings around, cars, because all that can go up too, or down.
Right. Yeah. Or side or left or right. Yeah.
And the debris will just like everywhere, so that's the thing that takes the longest. It's like, okay, but then, timers and all that is like, that's more, Hollywood.
Like the pyrotechnics and stuff like that. Speaking on like pyrotechnics, so like, do you watch like wrestling? Like in the past, maybe like WWF.
Yeah. When they come on stage, their intros and stuff.
Yeah, like Goldberg. Goldberg comes in. He has like the sparks coming out on the sides, and then like he breathes like smoke coming out. He doesn't do like Triple H. Triple H would spit at the crowd, but he drinks some of his water bottle and then he spits up in the air. I thought that was weird because, if I was in the front, it's kind of like a splash zone in a way, But aside from that, like the pyrotechnics over there, would you know like how that kind of stuff is wired, how it works?
The basic is almost the same, but then they have a lot of different triggers now, which is they can link different triggers. I was like, you think you got one, there's another one. It's like, oh.
Yeah, because it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
It does whatever.
Because most of these guys, I'm not gonna say, but maybe trained somewhere in the United States,
in an undisclosed location.
Yeah, funded by CIA or
or FBI.
one of those acronyms.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know, USA. It could be one of those acronyms. But yeah, because like for like pyrotechnics and stuff like that, I was always interested in how they set those up, because if they have to load up maybe like how they would have to like load it up, maybe like the fire or something like that. Maybe like Kane, for example. I don't know if people know who I'm talking about, but Kane uses like fire to come from like the rings and stuff like that, like the turnbuckle. I think that's what they call it. But like stuff like that, how they would maybe fix it up or even trigger it, because like what if it doesn't go off? What if like 3 out of the 4
3 out of 4, yeah.
Is he gonna have to stand in the 4th corner just to block it and make it look like he's summoning the 3 instead?
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised like how stuff just malfunctions. Like this last movie that we were on, I mean, the guy who's doing the pyrotechnics and pyro, he got caught on fire.
Oh.
One of his assistants kind of screwed up something and caught the guy on fire. So he was on fire for like like a couple of seconds before they put him out. And I was like, okay, I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Wait, so was he in the shot and then he just got?
Yeah, so I guess there was a scene with a flamethrower and
oh god.
Yeah, he's lighting it up like we're talking like flame about 20, 30 feet.
Oh crap.
And then I guess when he came back, something went wrong and then caught his arm on fire.
Oh.
I've seen video of it like on people's phones, and people's like, why are you recording this and not putting him out?
Yeah. So was he on like there was a paramedics team?
Yeah, there's paramedics and all the safety protocols are in place, but then stuff like that just happens. And you just got to be prepared. You can't be with your phones like, hey, come on, put him out, not use this for your video and put it on Instagram.
Yeah, just push him down and then just keep rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling, man. Roll in the river over there. Okay. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Anything can just happen. You can fall asleep.
Yeah, because for movies and stuff like that, when accidents happen, because Kelsey and I were talking about one of the actors that got or he shot the director or something like that.
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yes.
He shot the DP. And then injured the director. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, injured. Okay, good.
I'm hearing all kinds of stories.
Not good that he got injured, but
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened, because it's okay, you're shooting at the camera, but you also shot somebody and hurt somebody else. I mean, what? I mean, the story. There's so many rumors and stuff out there, but I'm just waiting to see what the actual, when they get to like forensics and stuff and show what actually happened. Because the last time this happened was like, like what, 20 years ago with Brandon Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
When he got shot for The Crow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like something like that. Is it when they use like prop guns and stuff? Do they use like dummy rounds or?
Yeah. So firearm specialists on set will have a non-firing gun and use blanks.
Okay.
So for some, like I don't know what the percentage of when this stuff happens, where the blank will shoot and then a piece will break off and then actually shoot somebody. So that hasn't, that's what happened, I guess, in the case of Brandon Lee. And this new one, I'm not sure if it was like a real loaded gun. I mean, I was hearing all kinds of different stories, so I don't know what to believe yet.
And like, what kind of movie was it? I mean, was it like a wedding movie?
I think it was like a western, western movie. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or it's called Rust or something like that.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because I mean, if it was like a wedding movie or something, I don't want him like he's shooting his wife or something. You know what I mean?
So I'm definitely not watching that movie.
yeah, because the horror on his face, he'll just see it right when they film it.
It's like that was real. But usually, like films like that, if somebody dies on camera, they don't. I mean, like The Crow, they had a hard time finishing it because they didn't want to have the death on screen.
The ending sequence was very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of reshoots. They had to use different actors.
I'm actually surprised that they finished that film and then they just did it anyway. Like,
yeah, see, it's about greed. They just wanted money.
Yeah, because with doing a death on screen for like a movie and stuff like that, I would imagine if I was a director, I'd probably just halt the whole production, probably scratch the film. I'll take the loss because that's money loss.
Person's legacy.
Yeah, that's person's legacy. You don't want to just produce a film and then just say like in memory of this person who died helping us film this production. That would be kind of an insult to their name. So, but yeah, stuff like The Crow, I'm surprised that they finished production and then they actually went through with it. And then now we got guys like Sting. Well, because of that movie, we got guys like Sting. Who going back to wrestling.
Yeah. Well,
but,
a lot of those guys like Bautista and like what's the other one from
John Cena.
John Cena, yeah. They're all making their way like The Rock did.
What do you think about like John? So did you see the new trailer for Peacemaker?
Yes, that was a surprise because it's like I just saw the new Suicide Squad movie and I was like, whoa, he got a series? What? Oh,
yeah. Out of all of them, right?
Yeah, out of all of them, I was like, wow, okay.
Because I mean, there was already two films already.
Yeah.
And then like out of all of them, he gets the part, but he gets more of like a funny role, a comedy role in sense.
But I enjoyed his character. It was pretty funny. It was. Like a lot of what do they call it, masculinity, dick jokes, and
yeah, and he was his suit was weird because he had like this really tight red shirt.
Yeah.
I can't remember his pants. Was it like white or something?
Oh yeah, it was like skin tight pants.
Yeah.
And his helmet looked like a what do they call it, the bedpan. That's what people were comparing. It's like, hey, look, his helmet looks like a bedpan.
That does look like a bedpan. That's weird because like, so I don't know the comics too much, but yeah, the like his costume. I guess that maybe that was part of the comics, but like, his the whole costume. I kind of want to know the origin of that costume. Where they came up with that concept because like, you look at Batman. It kind of makes sense, the way he looks, or like the Flash. I get why it looks the way it looks, you know. But like you look
It's
at
gotta be
Peacemaker.
flashy, right? Flashy.
Yeah, it has to be flashy. It has to be a little bright, you know, like Green Lantern. If Green Lantern was orange, I wouldn't know what the hell
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know. But Green Lantern.
And don't make it CGI.
Yeah, don't make it. Don't make it CGI. That was bad.
Remember the Suicide Squad, the Polka Dot Man?
Polka Dot. See,
I love that character. I was like,
did.
oh man, I was like, what the hell is that? I mean, when I saw the trailer, I was like, that's so stupid. But then when you watch the movie, it's like, wow,
Yep.
that's a pretty cool character.
Yeah, and it matches suit. See, Polka Dot Man matches suit. You know, King Shark. Was it King Shark?
Oh yeah, King Shark.
He was a shark. If it was a dolphin,
He looked
if
like one brought up from Hawaii.
Yo, probably was one brother. Even though Sylvester Stallone, Sylvester Stallone is a brother from Waianae. You get the record straight on camera. Sylvester Stallone, he's a brother from Waianae. Even though he says he's Italian stallion in Rocky.
Yo, Adrian.
Is that one of your characters?
Oh, it's coming out now.
Oh yeah, I mean if you want.
I didn't even take any shots yet.
But yeah, you know, like Peacemaker, all these. So, because you're like a prop design person, you know, when it comes to like maybe, you know, character, you know, costume design, do you take that into account, or are you actively part of those?
Yeah, definitely. It's got to kind of fit their aesthetic. And then, you know, like certain things that they have to have. Like for the John Cena character, he has all these different weapons that he uses, right? So they had to make it so that he had these different weapons using, you know, for different scenarios. But then, you know, it's like bright colors in the jungle. And the chrome dome, you know, and that's not tactical, though.
Yeah, it's not
but
tactical.
it's more of a comic book thing that they, you know, they kept it. And you know, it's like people get mad if you don't, like, you know, follow the comic book, right?
Yeah, especially like well, I mean, if you look at the Marvel series, right? They've kind of adapted maybe some of the comic book, but also added a new flair to it. Like Captain America's suit, for instance, like his first Avenger movie, the first Captain America, he had, like, you know, suspenders. He looked more kind of
the old comic book.
Yeah, the old comic book. And then when you go to like Winter Soldier, and then Civil War, he kind of has more of a
more tactical and more modern.
Yeah,
and
more plated.
Yeah,
you know, it's not just this spandex anymore. So would they, you know, for like a prop design sense, you know, for like maybe his shield, would you like alter it maybe just a little bit to where it kind of fits with that time, or
making more modernization?
Yeah,
but as long as you keep like the, you know, the main look of it, like you got to keep it, you know, round. You know, if you turn it into a hexagon or something like that, then, you know, people are gonna get mad. So, but
something like that.
It's a lot of red tape when you're doing those kind of things too, because then it's not only you that's designing it; it's a lot of other people, like people that are producing it. You know, you got to get their approval, and it's kind of like a pain in the butt. Because it's like you can talk to the director, you can be good friends with them. Hey, you know, this is great, right? But then it's got to go through the people that handle the money, and it's like, oh, I got to, like, when you go up the hierarchy of like films, like with Disney, like especially like Star Wars, like Lucasfilm. You know, Lucasfilm is one company, but then Lucasfilm has to go through all this with Disney approval before they can make something, and it's like, wow.
Okay. So because like Disney, everybody says like working with Disney contracts, it's kind of a nightmare because it goes through so many different entities.
Yes.
Right, and then like for Disney, I mean, they're more focused on, like, I don't know. I mean, everybody has different views of what they want to do with the money, which is why probably they have different entities. Like ESPN's kind of coincide with Disney, I think.
Yeah, I think they're all under the
umbrella.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Disney World last, I was kind of surprised because I didn't know ESPN was associated with Disney. But then when I went to Disney World, it was, you know, there was like an ESPN park kind of like close to it. So,
I didn't know they even had that.
Yeah, or I don't know if it was like ESPN park, like a, you know, like a Disney World park, but it was like ESPN section that was part of like you go through like, oh, welcome to Disney World, and then there's like ESPN, and then there's like Epcot and all these, and I was like, wow, interesting. So that's why going to like basketball, like the NBA season when COVID started, they stayed in the Disney resorts because Disney's kind of working with ESPN, so they stayed at the Disney resorts and they go to I guess like an undisclosed location for I think it was at Epcot. At Epcot, they had like a basketball court there, so they did games there. But so like in terms of like Marvel and stuff, do you think that ESPN has a say in that too? Like, oh, we want the Shield to look like this. You know what I mean? Are we gonna see like Michael Jordan in the new Marvel movies? You know what I mean?
That'd be a trip ass seeing those guys. Like, oh look, it's Basketball Man.
Yeah. So like for contracts like that, do you think it's better for like a movie, like maybe like Disney, for example, right? Do you think it's good to have many different entities just kind of producing that one film, or is it better to have like an independent film, maybe just maybe lower budget, but they're able to produce something?
Well, like I don't know. To me, the biggest thing about that was like when Disney took over the Lucasfilm and Star Wars. Oh man, it was a disaster because from watching the films, you can tell that they were not on the same page. I mean, it was like this cohesive story that's supposed to run 3 films, but then you have all these different directors with their own scripts and going in all these different directions and not coinciding. And it's like, this goes up the chain because it's like, okay, it's got to be approved. So it's got to go through Lucasfilm approval. Then it's got to go through Disney approval. So it's like, okay, there's something along the way was just not working, and it's like, you can tell by watching the finished film. And, like myself and like so many others are so disappointed. And it's like, wow, we kind of like lost the love for Star Wars. But at the same time, it's like, well, they did good when they brought like the Mandalorian series and stuff. And I was like, hey, then it shows that they're kind of like trying to fix what they broke.
Yeah, because there's series like the Clone Wars, even though it's animated, it's still produced pretty well, I think. But like you look at like the new trilogy that came, the
sequel trilogy,
the sequels. I guess I don't know why people say it like that. There's the originals, then there's the prequels, now there's the sequels, right?
It's like, why did we go in this order?
Why do we go in this order? It almost seemed like the sequels were kind of, we're just gonna make this just to make more money. Yeah, that just to me that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, it was like a rehash of the original trilogy,
right? Because there was the originals, and then that seemed like what Lucasfilms was going with. Originals. George Lucas wanted the prequels just to kind of give maybe a backstory to the originals, but then it didn't seem like it kind of seemed like he was settled with just those two trilogies, and then not thinking about the sequels, right? Because we look at the sequels, kind of it seemed disconnected with the way the structure is with Star Wars.
Yeah, with the other 6.
Yeah, with the other 6, especially with like you have the Knights of Ren, which didn't follow any of the Star. It was a cool concept.
Yeah,
but it didn't go anywhere, right?
The build up, and then all of a sudden nothing. They died just like punks.
Or even like the different creatures. Like with Star Wars, there's different alien races, species. And then the sequels, they kind of introduce it, but it's not expanded on. Yeah. Like the I always use this example for like the Rise of Skywalker, which I thought should have been broken up into 2 films, because just to flush out story development, the Knights of Ren, make them look more daunting. You know what I mean? Put them in part 1, and then put like, they could have put like Star Wars 9, Knights of Ren. That could have been a storyline right there. And then episode 10 is resurrection of Palpatine or something,
No, don't bring him back again. Bring Luke back. I mean, if you can bring back Palpatine, you can bring back Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But like something like that. There was a scene in episode 9, and it was with this is kind of a spoiler, but I mean, time's passed already. But Rey's healing one of the creatures, You know, she uses this force
Oh,
healing.
the snake. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first time we actually see force healing.
Yeah.
In a Star Wars movie. But then the snake, you see like, oh, it's getting healed, and it's menacing, and it goes away, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a good opportunity for the snake to come back and then just do a bunch of shit to like the Knights of Ren and stuff.
Kill the Knights of Ren or some
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
But then it disappears.
Nothing. You hear nothing from it again.
Yeah,
It's like, thank you, but I'm not gonna do anything for you.
yeah, thank you. I'm going to go Chick-fil-A. I'll see you later, Ray. but something like that, right? There's that missing link, So with the sequels, it's kind of like that, there's a missing link with, those kind of cinema trilogies, and I don't know where I was going with that.
It's like there should be some kind of interconnected.
Something.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, you have like the legacy characters, right? Like Luke, Han, and Leia.
Mhm.
But then the thing that we all hoped for never happened was
Yeah.
getting them all three together on screen again.
Yes.
And it was disappointing because you kill off Han in the first movie, then Carrie Fisher dies by the making of the second film, and then it's like
Luke dies in that film.
yeah, Luke dies in that film, and then it's like, okay, now you have a CGI Leia for the third film, and
Yeah.
then just kill her anyway. It's like
Yeah.
you could have just killed her in the second movie in Ryan Johnson's film when
Mhm.
she flew out and did Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly. But like for the sequels, they could have. What I was hoping for is maybe they pass the torch on to, like they have like a character who's relates to Han Solo. Maybe Finn could have been that character or something, and then like they coincide. Like he passes the torch on to Finn. Like, hey, you're the next in line. You're my legacy. But then they're kind of all like, hey, Rey, you're our legacy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
All everything pointed at her.
Right.
Well, at first it was kind of like when they show the trailers, it was like hey, Finn with the lightsaber. Ooh,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, the red herring. Okay, and then she's revealed, and it's like they call her Mary Sue. They say she has those all. It's like no training, no nothing. It's like, okay,
See, I would like Finn if Finn was, the main character with the lightsaber. I would have enjoyed that. That was my pick for who should have been the kind of where the story should have surrounded, because it was like stormtrooper turning good, Force Awakens
has Jedi powers.
Yeah, Force Awakens, because the Force Awakens.
Yeah, the Force Awakens inside him.
Inside of him, right? Not inside of Rey. I mean, what did it entice with Rey? She was like a deserter. She lived on like the desert environments and stuff. But then the Force Awakens in her. So like, what did that have to do with the theme of where it was going? At least with like story arcs. I think with Finn, it could have went. He started off as Force Awakens, then he kind of goes through some trials. In the second film, maybe he's like learning force powers. In the third film, he kind of, that's disregarding his love interest with Rose, which she is a great actress. It's just she was put in
Keoni Tran,
a bad role, I think.
Bad writing.
And
then J.J. Abrams just totally cut her out in the third film.
Exactly.
Altogether.
I thought I was kind of laughing when I saw in the third film the interaction between Finn and Rose. I was just kind of like, oh,
I was cringing. I was like, this is so forced.
Yeah, literally when when he put his hand on her shoulder and he walked away, I was like, well, that's it. That's the end right there. That was the conclusion. I knew that was the conclusion when he did that. I was like, this is definitive.
Friend zone.
Yeah, friend zone. Yep. They kissed and then friend zone, right?
Oh man, I mean, John. I don't know if you've ever seen John Boyega before Star Wars. He was in this movie called Attack the Block.
Okay.
Great. I mean, he was great in that. He was the lead, and he was like this leader of this little bike gang, like BMX gang. But he's like tough, and they rob people in England. It's a really good film, and it's like, oh man, this character if his character was like that in this film, in the Star Wars films, it would have been great. But they took him like nowhere. I mean, he had no arc. By the time he got to the third film, I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna liberate all the stormtroopers and make them turn. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, and then he's like, Ray, I want to tell you something, and he never says what he's supposed to tell her.
That's true. Yeah.
He was hanging there.
wait, Ray. I have this secret I want to tell you.
Like 3 times, I think he does it. Right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it went nowhere.
Yeah, it went nowhere.
But getting back to like the overall films, like they were all rushed. Like when George Lucas originally had an idea for like 12 films. Like when I was a kid, I was like reading all this stuff, and he had a draft for like 9 films, and then if there was 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
And the reason, what I read, is that he got tired of people just like the backlash from fans and stuff, that when it came to the sequels, he had ideas written out. He kind of had like a rough draft, and he was so fed up with all the people not like appreciating the stuff, that he just said, I'm done. I want to focus on my family. Here, I'll sell it. And he sold it to Disney for what, $4 billion, I think, Lucasfilm.
Okay.
But then what I also read is that he gave like his treatments for 7, 8, 9 to Disney, and Disney just threw them out. I mean, they said they took some of the elements, but most of it they just threw out. And then they wanted to go into production in 2015 and get it out there and just bang them out every other year, I think was the films. And that was kind of like too much, and they rushed it. It was like the original films are like maybe 3 years between each film, so they had time for pre-production, and actually writing a story, and filming it and editing and doing a really good job. But now it's like you got this deadline. It's like every year you got to just bang one out, and it's like wow. I mean, they've expanded. Like they've done Rogue One, and they have all these directors, so they have like 2 different units shooting. So it's like they can do it. But I think when the last movie hit, they're like, wow, okay, Disney took a step back. It's like, well, we got to think about this and, make it quality, and then hire people that, not going to go in their own direction and keep it on a...
Well, that's why I thought like Mandalorian was interesting, because Mandalorian is, Dave Filoni. I have to think of his name, sorry.
Yeah.
But Dave Filoni, but then there's also John Favreau, and a bunch of different directors, kind of.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, Ron Howard's daughter.
And they kind of came together. I mean, luckily, Mandalorian, which is kind of a risk, that you have different directors kind of.
Yeah, because with their films, right?
Right. yeah, true. But like with them, I guess they had an overarching like theme. Like, okay, just stick with this theme. You can do it whatever direction you want. But it worked out. So like something like that, like an experiment with like having a director. Ooh, that was weird.
Like almost went in your mouth.
Oh, really? Oh, sheesh.
Almost. I was like,
good. Oh, good. We could get a zoom in on that. But yeah, like the having so many directors inputting into. Well, I think what was different with the trilogy, the sequels, was that they had Rian Johnson, they had J.J. Abrams, they had an idea, but there was no theme to it.
Yeah.
Right, and the theme, it didn't stay consistent. They just we'll just make our own stories.
Yeah, they're on their own page.
Right, they have the characters, and then we'll just work around the characters. Versus Mandalorian, which was they had a theme, they had the characters,
and everybody sits at the round table and they talk about it.
Right. So I think with that works out. It kind of speaks with communication.
Yeah.
With how they can do that. I mean, because it could work, right? To have many different directors. It could have worked if they had, like for the sequels, to have 3 different directors to do all 3 films. It could have worked if they were on the same page. They had a goal in mind.
Yeah, cohesive.
They work together with it, and then they just do different things. Like if Christopher Nolan did like maybe Rise of Skywalker, you know what I mean? Like and it just worked with J.J. Abrams, because J.J. Abrams is all explosions, blah blah blah,
lens flare,
and yeah. Rian Johnson, I mean, I think if they worked with him too, and then you have like Christopher Nolan, for example. I love Christopher Nolan's films. That's why I reference him. But he has like these real cinematic, darker shots. You know, I mean, if they had someone like him doing like Rise of Skywalker, and then they just kind of sit around this triangle table, you know.
Yeah, we talk story about it. Yeah,
we talk story about it, right? But I think that was the problem with the sequels. There was no theme because there was no communication, and there was just they had the characters, and they're all great characters. I think Daisy Ridley is a great actress too. It's just they were just put in roles that didn't make sense, you know, over
like, ooh,
3
my character
films.
does this. Oh,
Yeah, they probably looked at the script and was like, "This is crap," right? Because my character did this in the last film. Why am I doing this now?
why am I doing it again?
Yeah,
Yeah, because like watching, I mean, it was like painful just to watch the lightsaber battles. It was like, she's gonna win again.
yeah,
It
she's
doesn't
gonna
matter.
win again. It doesn't matter.
Well, there was a third director, Colin Trevorrow. He did Jurassic World.
Okay.
He got fired.
Oh, okay.
He got fired by Lucasfilm. It's like wow, and it's like, you know, all these non-disclosure agreements, all these NDAs, you know, they can't talk about it, you know, till later or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, but he wasn't the one who got fired. There was Chris Lord and Miller from the guys who did the Lego movie.
Oh, okay.
They did
interesting.
Solo movie.
Okay.
They so I really read into it. It was they shot about 85% of the movie, and then if they had like 87% shot, then they have the edit rights or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is they fired them right before they hit the 87 mark.
Oh.
And then brought in Ron Howard to finish. I mean, actually, Ron Howard came in and almost reshot the whole movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like I want to see what they shot because you know how they shoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shoot real kinetic, like you know.
Yeah.
And Ron Howard's more cinematic and you know, like nice long shots. You
Yeah.
know, they're great. They're both great, you know, directors. But it's like wow, completely two different opposites of the spectrum.
Just styles, yeah, different styles.
But there's so much drama, and you know, I was like, wow, reading about all this stuff at Lucasfilm. I was like, see, and it's like all this corporate, you know, ladder that you gotta like go through, and it's like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like something like Solo, which I thought the cast was really great, but I think the execution maybe was a little weird in some parts. You know, because like there's, I think like towards the end, I think it was weird because like it feels like it didn't go anywhere. Maybe it will go somewhere later, but like the ending was like, oh, this big reveal. I don't want to spoil too much, but like, you know, like, oh wow, he's there, you know, but what now? You know, and I
It's
think
like teasing us. And I was like, oh,
it's like teasing us, you know. So like something like Solo, it feels incomplete. But if you watch like Rogue One, for example, that felt complete.
yeah, it was complete.
You know,
They all die.
they all die, right? That's a spoiler right there. Too. You know,
If you haven't seen it yet.
they all die eventually.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, maybe down the line, maybe you know, a few years
'cause
later,
you don't hear about them in the original trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, old age, you know, comes too, you know,
Yeah.
people die, you know, of old age. so they all eventually die. But in that film there is death, you know. It's not a spoiler, I guess. Maybe that is a spoiler. I guess you could have a Star Wars film where nobody dies. That would be interesting.
Well, it's like the old Dirty Dozen and stuff. You know, they all died.
Yeah. You know, that's a spoiler.
Or the Army of the Dead. Yeah, they all died.
I didn't watch that film.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Oh,
not
it's-
yet.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and they have in their own cinematic universe.
That's interesting now.
But
Now that I know they all died.
Oops. No, but there's a prequel now.
Oh,
It's
there's
called
a
Army of
prequel.
Thieves,
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes
and it's
sense.
about the safecracker guy,
Okay.
and he's like the one that you hate the most in the Army of the Dead.
Oh, I can't believe. Okay, so if they all died, then that means Batista died.
No, but it's weird because what they're saying is that there's all these timelines
Oh,
within
okay.
the film, and it's like that's one of the timelines. So it's like what?
Also, yeah, they're doing a multiverse.
Yeah, you know they're all
Huh.
trying to jump on the Marvel bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Like I noticed, like Netflix has, well, like the Army of the Dead is like one of their big multiverses now.
Okay.
And I think Bright. You ever watch Bright?
that the one with
Will Smith.
Will Smith?
Yeah, and the wand.
Yeah.
So they have their own multiverse, and they're making all these
Okay, interesting.
other films about that too.
What do you think about like so like for Marvel, right? They have Kevin Feige, who's kind of I think is kind of like the Dave Filoni of.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he just kind of connects everything. But then they probably have like Taika, who's doing Thor, Ragnarok. But then they have like these different
all the different directors, the Russo brothers.
Yeah. So do you think something like that, like that's a good experiment because they have the Russo brothers. They have people doing different films,
multiple films. Yeah.
But then Kevin Feige is like, okay, but we'll just connect this to this later on. You know, like this will make sense, but you can just do whatever you want with these characters.
I remember like when I first read about like the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was they had a story group, and you know I think about maybe like 5 years ago or something they dissolved the group, and I was like, wow. I mean, that's kind of like all these people sit at a round table and they discuss and they do all these, you know, like somebody will catch, no, you can't do that with this person, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, so they had this thread that they can expand for like, you know, now they're going into the phase 4, I think, with the, you know, Eternals, and you know they got a whole slate of different films coming out too.
Eternals, that the what was the director's name? Because she's
Chloe
Asian,
Zhao.
right?
Chloe
Yeah,
Zhao.
Chloe
So
Zhao.
she won Academy Award for Best Picture. You know, and it's like, wow, okay, she got.
I heard it bombed though. Eternals.
Yeah.
I heard it bombed pretty bad.
I mean, I heard, when I heard the reviews, it didn't even come out yet, and I was like, oh, it's bad. I was like, ooh, okay, wow, ouch.
Well, I wonder why that is. My guess is maybe funding. So they fund so much for like actors and actresses.
Oh, I mean, you see all the A-list actors in that. It's like Angelina Jolie. Ooh, man, it's like, wow, there's the budget right there.
Right,
Because you got all these big time stars.
Because like if I made a film, I probably would go more, you know, independent route. If I had like a low budget, I'd probably invest in like actors or actresses. Kind of pick and choose. Maybe not like really high budget actors and actresses.
Or keep them and just like kill them off real quick. Like that's the marketing pitch right there. Is like, ooh, he's in a movie. Oh no, he's in there for like just 5 minutes. He's dead.
Well, that's okay. That's an interesting concept because like Deadpool, for example, right? They had different cameos. There was that, I think it was Deadpool 2, but there was a scene where they had like a bunch of different deaths, and it was just these famous actors.
Oh yeah, when they had the new team, right?
Yeah, when they had the new team.
Like the guy flies into the wood chipper.
Yeah. I like dark comedy, so I was laughing a lot in that part. But you know, it was Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was one of them.
Yeah, he's the guy on he dies on the electrical lines.
Yeah, the electrical lines. I just figured out.
Yeah, well, he's the invisible guy, and he's like, and they flash.
But something like that, you know, like they pay a lot for like one cameo death.
Yeah.
Or stormtroopers. I don't think they pay them. If they're there.
Oh yeah, like you get the Prince Harry and the brother, and then I think was
Daniel Craig
was there too.
Yeah. James Bond, you know what I mean?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Oh, but the one I want to know is like when you see Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens for that 1 minute of screen time. I was like, I wonder how much you got paid for that.
I heard he got like six figure.
Yeah, he got a lot.
Just for like that scene at the end where he doesn't even say a line, too.
Yeah, he doesn't even say a line. He just turns around.
Yeah. He takes off his hood. They could have used a double for that. They could have used a double for his hood, and then when he turned around.
Yeah.
But maybe he's like, oh no, I'll get more money. I'll be in the scene the whole time.
Well, especially the Rise of Skywalker too. Then you get Harrison Ford, that ghost cameo. That was really weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like, okay. And you know, he's like ever since like the Empire Strikes Back and stuff. Like he never wanted to come back to the series.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I heard about that.
I wonder why he came back for that last movie, because it's like that must have been all about money, because he does not like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Well, so like Harrison Ford, I grew up watching Indiana Jones. Yeah, because like they would play it, they would overplay it honestly on USA Network.
Oh yeah,
but I would watch that religiously
over and over,
over and over. Like every night, or maybe like while I'm doing homework or something like that, I would watch those Indiana Jones films. So like with Star Wars and stuff like that, I didn't grow up watching that, but it was more his adventure type stuff.
Yeah.
I never heard if he liked it or disliked it, but
Yeah, he doesn't talk as much about the Indiana Jones stuff as Star Wars.
Mm.
He say he just like hates the fans that come up to him because some of the fans are crazy. Yeah.
oh, that's true. Yeah, really. Yeah, they just go up to him and because he's kind of like a introverted kind of guy.
Yeah, introverted guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't like the attention. He doesn't like being in the spotlight, even though he has these iconic roles. Blade Runner. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. And he's humble, and he's like very soft spoken.
Mm-hmm. So like for kind of talking about actors, like actresses and stuff. Do you ever find like maybe there's an actor or actress that's kind of hard to work with, especially for like prop design? Maybe you give them something and they have kind of like an opinion about it, or like maybe they just kind of or like, oh, maybe it'll go in this direction instead,
Well, most actresses are divas. They're very particular, especially if they rose up to like, the high echelon of actors, and they're real picky. And you got to give them that because a lot of them have their own caterers. You can't go into their tent because they have their oin food. It's
okay. Oh,
it's kind of crazy about like when you get to the like Tom Cruise, for example. he
Tom Cruise.
Like he has like his own catering tent. He has his own like things that's like a different world on the set. Like you have your crew tents, you have your cast tents, your extras tents, but Tom Cruise has his own tent with his own stuff in there.
Okay.
So some of the actresses that like I work with Mira Sorvino, you know who that is?
Okay.
She came down here and did like this crappy film, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but and then she posted this picture of, she's an Academy Award winner, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
she posted this picture of her next to what's the porta potty?
Okay.
And had her name on it. She had her own porta potty.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like
right next to her tent.
No, it's like they always put the porta potties away from like the area.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the smell and all that.
Yeah.
But she was being sarcastic. Look, I made it. She's like, I got my own name on my porta potty, and it was only for her, right?
Oh my god.
But see, it was such like a low budget film that, like usually they have like these big trucks with ACs. But this one was just like the little porta potty.
Oh yeah, like at I'm thinking like the 58 State Fair and stuff. Yeah, they have those big trailers with the.
Yeah, like they're. I mean, like Tom Cruise like has one of those luxury ones where it's like it's a whole trailer,
Okay.
and everything's AC. There's jacuzzis inside and everything.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How do they fit a jacuzzi inside there though?
I don't know,
What the hell?
but they have them. I see them. It's like what?
Is there at least a bed?
Oh yeah, there's everything. I mean,
how the hell
everything you can think of to like cater to just being rich and luxurious. They have it.
Mimosas,
Oh, yeah.
alcohol in the morning, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they got their own bartender in there.
Their own podcast area. Maybe they got their own podcast area next to the jacuzzi. Stuff like that.
But like Mira Sorvino, she was really great to work with. She had attitude. I was doing props and sets on that film, and she was really easy to work with. I'm not one of those like stargaze people like, hey, can I take a selfie or you give me an autograph? It's like, I like talk story with them when I see them. It's like, but then you gotta everybody's around them trying to rush her. It's like, I don't want to do that. They're normal people. They want to be left alone too. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Like I work with this girl that she's actually. I was talking to Kelsey about this. She did all the stunts for Ahsoka and. Yeah, she's Ahsoka's stunt double in like the Clone Wars and in the live action show.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Yeah.
And she did a film down here. They flew her down for this film that we did, this action film. One of my buddies, this guy Just Bryden, he's a great filmmaker, up and coming guy, and he passed away like a few years ago, cancer.
Oh.
But he was ahead of his time, and he was making a lot of big moves, and he was working on all these stunt people, and he brought this girl down. Her name is Lori Kim, Lori Mary Kim, and this is before I knew she was on like all these big films. Like she was like stunt doubles in Fast 9. I mean, Fast and the Furious films. Then now she's, I guess because of those NDAs. Now she's releasing like what she was in. It's like, what? That was her. But then now I can kind of see her fighting style. And it's like, oh yeah, that is her.
Yeah.
But then I made her costume and this armor stuff, and she was real helpful about like how to put placement, and she got to do movements. So it's like a lot of like hey, and she was real, not like like bitchy about anything, but she was like, hey, open to like suggestions, and,
Yeah.
But she was good. She's good.
Kelsey,
What up?
do you like beef?
Yeah.
Do you like Japanese Wagyu beef? Guys, if you said yes to both of these questions, let me tell you something. You guys need to hit up Easy Wagyu 808, right? This is no joke. Kelsey, tell us more about them.
Yeah, so Easy Wagyu 808 sell these amazing Japanese Wagyu steaks, even Australian Wagyu,
Really?
caviar,
Oh my
even
gosh.
uni.
Oh my God.
And they're at very affordable prices.
Oh my God.
And even when you purchase one of these Japanese Wagyu steaks, you get a certificate of authenticity confirming that it is an official Wagyu steak from Japan.
Get out of here. What the heck? Guys, let me tell you something. I have some really good news for you. If you DM Easy Wagyu 808 and you use my promo code KSP4, you will get an additional $5 off per pound of all Japanese Wagyu products. That means if he was discounting Japanese Wagyu beef for maybe like $10 off per pound, you use KSP4, you will get an additional $5 off. That means $15 off per pound for these awesome Japanese Wagyu products. Can you believe that?
That's a steal.
Crazy.
And they're so delicious. Just, mouth watering. You gotta try it at least once.
Guys, you want to tap into this amazing deal? All you need to do is DM Easy Wagyu 808. That's EZWAGYU 808. Use promo code KSP4. So like for what was your most like complicated maybe piece that you would have to create for maybe for somebody, but also maybe in like that horse. Yeah. What would you say probably the most complicated?
That we actually use on a film or for like personal stuff?
Maybe on a film. And then personal stuff, I didn't know you just made it for personal stuff too. But like for a film, maybe, let's just say.
Oh man, like costume wise, we made a bunch of like these devil worshippers in his last film.
Okay.
I mean, I had a lot of the stuff that laying around for like years on these other projects, and then we finally got to use it, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And we had to make this, almost like this bullhead. But then, I mean, Fidei, he brought these bull skulls from Maui, and they're huge, like about 5 feet wide with the horns and heavy, right? So heavy. And I was like, okay, can you cut these up? What? cut these horns off.
Oh.
He wants to cut the horns off because it was so heavy. The guy's head would go boom, on the table.
Oh, he had to wear it.
Yeah, he wanted the horns. I mean, he wanted the skull. The guy would wear the skull.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I want you to cut this up. And I was like, oh man. And just cutting it up, just like it smelled like you're at the dentist.
Oh.
That. And that smell. They're digging into your tooth, and like it was just like horrible. And it was like so we cut these things up, and it was like all this stuff flying on, all the powder, and it's like all that bone.
Oh.
And I was like all over me, and like, man, it smelled like bone. Everybody else around there got covered in bone. Fidei got covered in bone.
Oh, That's interesting. So you have to use like a bandsaw.
Yeah.
Or, okay.
We use a bandsaw, a grinder. I mean, we had to like shave it down. Like, we were shaving that thing down for like days, just trying to get like the weight down.
Wait, on set? You did it on set?
No,
or?
at my studio.
Oh, at your studio.
Yeah. We're just trying to like.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, we got to do this in a week. I'm like, oh, okay, well, then I got like multiple other things I got to do too, right? But it's like, okay, this is the main bad guy's skull. I mean, his mask or.
Yeah.
Like the iconic Darth Vader kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, this bull skull that we had to shave down, and then we had to. Oh man, it was just like. Oh, too big. Keep cutting it down.
Mm-hmm. So like, how did you? Well, first of all, how did you like ship something like that? Because you.
That's a good question. I don't know if you carried it on. Or
Yeah, because like what would you have to do to? I mean, you could just wear it in the plane.
Yeah.
But
Well, see, the thing is, he had two of them. He had two of these
two
things.
of them.
Two big things like that. I'm like, how did you get these down here?
Holy crap! Yeah, how did he? Oh, shoot! Yeah, how did you do that?
Well, when you brought them over, they were all wrapped up. But then I don't know if he had them in a box or. But like, I mean, that's a huge box. This is like a box that's bigger than this table, probably.
Oh, jeez. So it's crates. I mean, you could have put it in a crate.
He probably had them in crates because I was like, oh man, I was like, wonder how much that cost to.
Yeah, yeah, to ship it to another island. That's why.
Now I just carried it on, and I was like, hey, can I have this on my seat with me?
So yeah, something like that because, yeah, something that big. I mean, first of all, it's already hard to work with because you have to cut off the horns. You already have to chip it down, and then you got to ship it after. So like the transporting something like that is already difficult, and then you got to transport actors, actresses.
Yeah.
Unless you you use people from that island,
Yeah.
like from Maui.
Yes, I think they flew those guys from Australia. They came down from Australia. So the main guy, bad guy, was, wearing it, and then even when he, the first initial when he tries it on, right? It's like, oh no, he said something. Oh, it's hitting my nose. I was like, oh no, we got to trim something else out of there. So then we had to go inside and trim the inside and gut it out. And it's like, I don't know if he had a big nose or what, but it's like, it's like, hey, can we make it fit?
Got that.
But you want them to feel comfortable. Huh? You want them because they have to perform in it, and then if they're, agitated, then their performance doesn't come out. So you have to do a good job.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want them sounding like this,
Yeah, because then you sound like.
I mean, because like if you're a villain and you sound like this, I don't know if that's really menacing.
Then they don't take you seriously.
Yeah, they don't take you seriously until they kill somebody. They just kill everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he means business.
Yeah, he means business. Now he has horns cut off, his nose. He has a nasal problem, stuff like that. That's interesting. That's interesting that you have to work with stuff like that where it's you have to break down maybe like a helmet like that or even having like a prop for someone to wear that on set.
Usually you don't really use, like taxidermy stuff,
Yeah.
You create it from scratch, like or foam or resin kind of thing. But we had a time crunch, so there's no time to actually build something. We had to build something that was already there and just kind of work with that.
So how do you make your molds then? Let's just say you did like resin and stuff like that. Do you have someone that you makes the molds for you, or you just make them?
I make them myself.
You make them yourself?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people
Wow.
that we do like a lot of mold making and mask making and stuff.
Where'd you learn all that?
And just through the years, like we took a couple of classes at I think Windward Community College had a mask making class. That was my first delve into it, and then it's like it's there. You just get more information. But like back then when I took it, there was like there was the internet, but then it was like it wasn't as expansive as it is now. Because now you can just go online and find all these tutorials from YouTube, and like a lot of these kids are great. Like these 10-year-old kids, it's like this 10-year-old kid from Australia is like telling me how to freaking. Do mold making and silicone molds, and it's like, wow, man, these kids are so advanced.
Yeah, or they even have like 3D printers, right? That could probably do like the molds like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy too. That technology has gotten to that point.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for a long time because I saw 3D printers come out and I was like, they're so slow. It's like it take days to print that. What? No. And then I looked into resin printing, which is a liquid, and they've gotten so fast now. I got like 3 of them now, and it's like, wow. I just stick to the resin because the other, the older 3D printers, I just like, it's like, melting. Where the other one is like UV light,
Oh, really?
and it just like rises. Yeah, and it's like, wow. I'm just like so astonished how that technology works.
Crap. That's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. And it's like, pretty soon we're going to see like food and, pizzas and everything.
That we can actually
Yeah.
eat. Right? Just put a tomato right there and then all in the printer. And
Yeah.
then, there's spaghetti. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I'll be like, how'd you make the noodles from the tomato then?
Yeah, we don't need to go out and eat anymore,
Make my own restaurant. I'll call it the 3D printing restaurant,
I think NASA has, like on the ISS, they have something like that.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's all test stuff, but it's like, it makes like small things, it's not like, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, you wouldn't run out of like utensils, right? You could just remake your own utensils.
You make your own tools, you make your own,
Yeah, you can do whatever. You can make your own sets like this, You can make your own spaceship, honestly, if they had a big enough printer for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the printers again, like I think the one I got now is about the size of this table.
Wow.
Well, like
that's
here,
pretty big.
yeah, it's about this and about this tall, that wide.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can do like full face masks.
So like for like resin making stuff out of the molds. How long does it usually take to like set? Because I think it's like I watched the video on it because I tried to see maybe if I wanted to make something like how long it would take. You have to make the whole mixture. You gotta do the whole witch's pot thing.
Yeah. Stir it up.
Stir it up. Or they have the whatchamacallit, they have the attachment with the drill and then
You mix it like you're baking.
Yeah. So like how long does it usually take to set?
It depends. Like you can go for 8 hours, but just like leave it a day or something like that.
How do you take all the air bubbles out too?
Sometimes you shake it up, or you give it taps.
Okay.
Or you vibrate it.
Okay.
That's the best way to get the bubbles out.
So
they don't always come out though.
So like the lightsabers you made, right? You made the mold for that. How long did that like the blades? Because I know you have like you made the hilt, right?
Oh, I didn't make the blades though.
Oh, you didn't make the blades. No. Oh, okay. That was just what was that made out of? That was just
polycarbonate.
Oh,
Polycarbonate
okay.
like rods.
Yeah. Oh, then you just grinded it down then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta machine it. You gotta machine it to get it to fit in the slot
Oh,
for the
okay.
lightsaber.
Well, so you have to. Oh.
Yeah, then you just like at the ends, like, well, it depends on you get the original trilogy where it's like round, and then you get the prequel trilogy where it's sharp.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, yeah, because I was wondering how you made something like that, but I guess you just have to grind it down from.
Oh yeah, some of that stuff is like, if they're already made, it's easier than just
Yeah.
go get them from someplace.
Did you ever see the ones from the Disney World? Like when people make the. I mean, we have one.
The Ochi's workshop, or something.
Yeah. Is it called Ochi's workshop?
Savi's workshop.
Okay. Yeah. So, like you ever seen those? Well, we can show you after.
I've seen the. Like they do the walkthroughs where they show them where they do the whole build process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, because they go. Would you do something like that if you?
Yeah. I mean,
take your daughter.
Oh yeah. Definitely, I want to have her build one day. I mean, is that place still open right now? Is it still open?
Disney World is open. Now it is.
Oh, okay.
Because like before, I guess they took like some months off.
Oh.
COVID. But now I watch videos of people going and just riding the rides during COVID. So it's like, okay, they're fully open now, But like something like that, yeah, that was a cool experience because Kelsey she made one, and then you go in, Kylo Ren's he's kind of chasing you like right before the thing starts. Kylo Ren kind of approaches the studio, And then, like, for me, I was, like, taking pictures of him. I was just kind of filming, and they're like, come on, get
Look
inside.
at the stalker.
They're like, come on, get inside. And I was like, whoa, wait, he's not going to hurt me. You know? But we go inside the workshop, the studio, and then they do this whole presentation. They have, like, Obi-Wan, you know, talking in the back. Wait, Obi-Wan was talking, right? Was he talking? Oh, around.
They look like Obi-Wan.
Well, I thought his voice was his voice talking in the background?
Hello there.
Something like,
Oh, maybe a little bit. Or was it Yoda?
oh, it could have been Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
Hard to see the dark side is.
That's actually pretty good. So yeah, Obi-Wan, it's another character.
Yes.
So you know they go through the whole process. Someone's talking in the background, whether it's Obi-Wan or Yoda. Someone's talking in the background, and then they have these, you know, the people helping you. They're all speaking in, you know, British accents and stuff like that. And then you create your. It's actually kind of fast actually, 30 minutes, but it's expensive. But I mean, still the whole process of doing it is
The
nice.
experience is expensive, or the lightsaber is expensive?
The experience is expensive, I think, probably. The lightsaber, I don't know, by itself.
Like $200 ish around
Well,
there.
well, I mean, like, so like the whole thing is like, I think a little bit more than 200.
Oh, but it's all included though, right?
It's all included.
Okay.
Yeah. The experience and the lightsaber. But I think like when I was looking up like lightsabers, like just for someone to make it, I think it's like it can go up to like maybe $120, $30. You know, so maybe you let's just say you pay $130, make the lightsaber. $70 for the experience, then you have taxes. You know what I mean? Florida.
Hey, those people got to eat too, you know, the actors and
Those people gotta, yeah. Those people gotta eat. The guys collecting taxes, you know, they gotta eat.
See, I wonder if they're called cast members, like how they do it, you know, like Aulani and stuff. They call them all cast members, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it's all in the Disney umbrella. So
Actually, you should try out for like like the workshop, and then you do the Yoda, but then you can be the bigger Yoda because everybody's used to, you know, Grogu, all these, you know,
yeah, the small
the
ones.
small ones, and then they see this big Yoda come out, and they're gonna go, oh, so they can get to that big.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
can get full size.
You can get full size.
So we've just been looking at the runts all these years.
Yeah, this is an extra 1,000 years. Yeah, going forward.
They've evolved.
The hybrids. These are the hybrids.
Their midichlorian count is like extravagantly high.
So, yeah, you know, the whole experience. You guys should go. It's worth it. Have you been to Galaxy yet?
No, I mean, because it was, you know, I saw it when it first opened up, and I was like, seeing how it ran, and then I was like, you know, they should include like everything, not just be sequel trilogy era based, because that's what I saw, and I was like, no, and that's what I heard they were doing. They were trying to make it so that it was expanded. You know what I mean? Because when you just, and a lot of people hated the sequel trilogy, so I was like,
Yeah.
and it's like, I think it was like that one girl that you have to follow, like she's a not like a terrorist, but like you have to find her. She's like one of the girls you have to find.
Oh.
There's a quest thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot her name, but yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
I kind of read about it, and then I heard now they have the Star Wars hotel,
Yes.
which is, I think, right next door.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, it doesn't ever leave, so you're just in a building that's all interactive. But you know, they probably have all that same technology they have in the Mandalorian show. What's called the volume, where, you know, everything is like, it looks just like it. You can't even tell. And it's like, I think it's like a 2-day thing, but it's like, oh my gosh, it's like $2,000 or something per person.
I mean, I better get a blaster, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I better get something out of this, you know.
Chewbacca better go clean my room, you know what I mean?
I think they open up like openings for reservations just like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Or a week ago or something like that. And I was like, I wonder how that went. But, you know, it's supposed to be the full immersive cruise, right?
Oh, that's crazy.
That you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
No, but I think what is it? They take you to Galaxy's Edge. That's one of the things you get to go out.
Okay.
During your 2 days there, you get to go outside and they take you in like a shuttle, but it's like you're on a real shuttle going to Galaxy's Edge.
okay.
Yeah, so you get to play there, and then they take you back to the hotel.
That's weird.
It's weird, yeah. I was
That's
like,
that's really weird.
I'm trying to figure it out, but it's like,
I mean, they better have like like the Land Cruisers or something. Like something.
Yeah.
Like a track.
yeah.
Something safe.
I don't know if you've ever seen the plans for it, but it's like this long rectangular building. So
Okay.
it's like I don't know how many people they house there, but it's supposed to be all these restaurants and everything Star Wars.
I mean, I better see a pancake with like Luke's face on it or something. You know what I mean? Or a Grogu like cake or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I cut into him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see
Sorry,
like how it
Grogu.
turns out. I don't know when they're actually going to start it, but it should be pretty interesting.
Huh. Yeah, that is interesting. So like when we went, they had like the Millennium Falcon. It was a ride. It's too long. I mean, it was like 2 hours. So I went to go Planet Hollywood get get something to drink, right? Or a Hollywood Studios, not Planet Hollywood, but Kelsey and her dad, they went to the Millennium Falcon ride, and then I guess they basically crashed. It was like a really short ride because you're with other people on it.
Yeah.
It's like 6 of them, and then Kelsey's dad was a former pilot. So it makes sense to put the pilot in the seat of the
Millennium Falcon, yeah.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon, but there
And then
was someone else.
she's Chewie.
She's Chewie, But they were like the engineers pressing the buttons, But then there was someone else who was flying it, and they kept crashing.
Oh.
So, I guess it's not a good experience if you're with like if you have a group, like if you have like 6 people going in. This is kind of like we're kind of explaining the sequels in a way, because if you get like random groups of like pairs of 2s and then you put them together and they're not communicating, then you
It's like
you
take
fail.
the fun, yeah.
But if you have like 6 people that are team on the same page, then the ride would have lasted longer. But for me, I was like worried about the bar. I wanted to go drink.
You want that blue milk?
I wanted the blue milk. I didn't get the blue milk.
What? They didn't have any?
I think the line was too long. I forgot what happened, but there was just so much there. But there was a lot of people there too.
Yeah.
It was really populated.
The lines are ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Just for for the Millennium Falcon ride, it's like 2 hours.
Just for standing in the line.
Just to stand in the line.
Oh, yeah.
Just to last for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like the reward is just not it's not worth it. But like Maz's bar, I wanted to go to Maz's bar. You had to reserve your spot to get in there.
Oh, wow.
And there was already a line already there. So it's like, so you're reserving, then there's a line, and I guess they take them by groups. I'm thinking, how come we can't just, can I just go in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it big enough? It's like, oh no, it's not big enough. And this is before COVID. So imagine during COVID
Now it's worse. Probably
Now it's
4
probably
hours.
Yeah. Just to get into a bar, you gotta reserve like 2 weeks in advance. Just to stand in a 4-hour line. That's crazy.
Yeah, all the lines. I mean, I went to 2 Star Wars conventions. One in 2005 when Revenge of the Sith came out,
Okay.
and 2015 right before The Force Awakens. And man, just the lines just to get in there too was when I went the first time. You're all excited. Oh, so I was standing in those lines for like 4 hours, right, just to get in. So when I went back in 2015, I was like, no, let's just wait an hour, and then we just walked right in. same 4-hour line, right? Probably 6 hours. We went like 3 hours later. After it opens, like they said doors open at 10. So we went at noon or 12:30. Walk right in.
Wow.
We didn't have to stand in that line for that.
You know what's crazy? So there was one trip I went with my grandma, and we pushed her around in a wheelchair. She's capable of walking, right? But then I was like, oh, why don't we just push you on the wheelchair? There's a lot of walking. Let me work out. I'll walk. And then we didn't realize we could get to the front of the lines with her in it. So like I went to like Space Mountain. She wanted to go on all the crazy rides. I was like, oh yeah, let's go to Indiana Jones. Let's go Space Mountain. let's go like Manhorn. I'll push her in the wheelchair. We'll get to the front, and then she'll sit in the front with me. And then I'm like, wow, how come I can't do this? Why? Why?
Kelsey, get a wheelchair for him.
Yeah. Well, we used to have a wheelchair for my broken leg, but we donated it. I think I can't remember. Oh yeah, we donated it. Okay, yeah, I got a confirmation.
Well, I'll look for one for you.
Is it big enough though? That's the question.
You need the wider one. You need a little wider one.
Well, so the one from the hospital I had, it was wider. It could withstand a good amount. Like the tires were big too, so like a normal size this doesn't fit. I guess like I'm a bigger build. Surprising, I guess. But yeah, like for someone like my grandma, it's smaller wheelchair. You could just push her around.
Yeah,
it was nice, getting to the front of the lines. So,
the people look at you funny, like, hey.
Nah, I think they knew, But like I'd see like this long snake line, and I'm just like, oh, well. Here we are. What's the time to wait? 60 minutes? Well, it's about 2 minutes for us.
Yeah. See, senior citizen stuff good.
No, senior stuff good. Actually, it worked for even for us. So like, Kelsey's sister is autistic, but it worked out because I guess I didn't realize that we could get to the front of the lines too. And she wanted to go on the crazy rides too. So I was like, oh, this works out. Let's go to the rapids. Let's go to the river rapids. So like Disney World, we cut out a lot of the lines as well. But we would have to, I guess we would have to report to them, to whoever the attendant is. And they go, oh, come back at this time.
Oh, okay.
And come back later. Right?
They got to make it so it's accessible for them.
I guess so. But like when I went with my grandma, it was just like, oh, just go in, I didn't have to come back later. I just went in, So I guess it works different. Then again,
multipass.
Yeah. I guess then again it was different time periods because when I went with my grandma, I think I was like ninth or 10th grade. That was a long time ago. And then when I went with Kelsey's family, it was like 2019. Late 2019. So that's like over 10 years already. So yeah, maybe they optimize
and then just
it.
everything, so much more populations, much more people going. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Disney. Have you ever been to Disney World?
Yes, long time ago. I haven't been recently though.
What do you think about like Epcot? The one with the big globe.
Florida.
Yeah, it's like the main attraction is like this big globe.
Big globe, yeah. At Disney World, at Epcot Center, right?
Yeah. Epcot Center. What do you think about that one? I
don't know. I always see it as like, oh, I want to go there. But it's like, oh, I never went to Florida yet.
Well, it's weird because when you go there, because I was thinking, oh, maybe all the rides are in this big globe, but it's actually not. It's just the big globe. That actually is a ride. The globe.
Oh,
is
inside is a ride.
Inside is a ride. It's a slow ride. It's like a history lesson kind of. Kelsey and her mom. It was funny. Theirs was in I think it was in French. Their whole thing was in French.
Oh wow!
And then I went with Kelsey's dad. Ours was in English, right? So we understood. I was like, "Oh, what'd you guys pick?" And then Kelsey's like, "I don't know what we picked. We just pressed buttons. And something happened." And I was like, "Wait, you guys didn't pick like a destiny or anything? Like, what did they tell you?" It's like, "Oh no, it was all in
random,
French."
random.
I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting ride," But yeah, that's a ride. But if you go inside, and it kind of does like this big loop, but there's
inside the ball.
Yeah, so there's the ball, and then you keep walking, and then there's this big loop where it's like these different regions or countries, and they have food. They have different foods, regional foods. So like there's like Japan. They had like this really weird. Japan's one was weird. They had like this cold ramen. It was like this gelato. It was weird. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing?
It's not like Ken Kaipe, no?
Yeah, that's traditional. This was weird.
It's like who they hired to get these Japanese international?
It was people from Japan.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And I was like, what the hell are you guys learning over there? But the Francis one was cool. They had like escargot. I was thinking butter garlic escargot. I've had escargot before, but theirs was in a croissant. It was weird. It was in a pastry.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I mean, I had butter garlic, but I was just weird eating it like that because I'm like used to it being like kind of like oysters in a way. But that's the only one I remember. I had the other stuff there, but they had like a lobster roll as well from the U.S. section.
Oh yeah, the U.S. section.
And that was okay. It left a lot to be desired. But there was
Like, how much did I pay for that?
it was like what, $20? I think it was 10 actually. But yeah, there's other regions. There's like Norway. There's Mexican cuisine. There's like there was like the Moroccan section. I think that's yeah. There's like Aladdin over there too. There's like different people. There was Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins was there. I forgot which section she was in.
Tea and crumpets.
Yeah, well,
England.
I don't know if they had tea and crumpets.
Oh.
They did have fish and chips there, which was pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another staple.
Yeah.
So it's like what was that one in Disneyland? It's a Small World After All.
Yeah.
But it was interactive with food, right?
Yeah, it's a big one. There's rides not for each region, which I wish they did, and I hope they do. And if they listen to this, you guys better make a ride for each region. But yeah, they had rides for some regions. It was just basically food, mostly food for each region.
But you eat it each stop, or
you have to buy it.
Yeah.
So before we went to Disney World, I was thinking maybe it was gonna be like a Costco. They get to you get to try out stuff.
oh yeah, little samples, right?
Yeah, you get to sample stuff, But then it was like you have to buy it. They just showed it, and it was during like Food and Wine Festival. So it was during like when they should be doing a Costco thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So I guess but maybe they didn't want to lose money, so they just
Oh, that's expensive. All these little samples.
I think it's pretty cool though. The Epcot, they have those different regions with the different foods and stuff like that. Japan needs to change.
Yeah, hot ramen.
Hot ramen. Please provide sushi. You know what I mean? Something something people would know, like chicken teriyaki.
Yeah, karaage chicken.
Yeah, karaage chicken. Not like this weird chicken. Creamy chicken or something. I don't know.
That's not from there.
Yeah, that's not.
What? That's Disney's interpretation.
Yeah, that's what do they call that? That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah. They're changing it. They're changing the narrative.
Changing the narrative.
That's why I missed. Well, I think they're bringing it back now at Costco. The sampling.
Oh, they are.
I saw. I was like, oh, they're back. Because they were gone for like 2 years. It's like nobody wants to. But I saw them when I went there like a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, they're open. Yes.
See, that didn't make sense because they could do social distancing for that. You know what I mean? Like all they got to do is just put it out, and then the guy could just walk back a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The table,
or you have the plexi.
Yeah, the plexi.
Here, let me hand it through there.
yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a good example too. Or they could have just had a 6-foot table, and then just put them so nobody can go up to them like that.
See the thing, I'm like, oh, okay, so they got to change gloves every time, huh? Every time they touch it, they got to change the gloves. Okay.
Or they just use tongs. Yeah. See, like that didn't make sense that they got rid of the sampling, because you could still do it.
There's a lot of things, even like these COVID hours of certain things. I'm like, what? Why is it gonna close so early? I don't get it.
No, well, even like so, we went to Winter Mall to get some dinner last night, and some stores before COVID it would last till 9 o'clock, right? Normal mall hours, but then
now it's like Maui. Everything closes like 7.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like people eat at 7. Okay, what happens to people that are working till like 8? What do they gotta go? Oh, we gotta go McDonald's now. If McDonald's closed at 9, that's to me that's a robbery. That's something's wrong with that.
I mean, there's a few McDonald's that are like, I guess they're franchise based or run. So it's like whoever owns it or runs it makes their own hours. Because most of McDonald's are 24 hours.
Yeah.
But there's some that's like, what? They're closed?
that doesn't make sense, right? I mean, especially if like the drive-through area was, I mean, okay, if the dine-in area was closed at like 9 or 10, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. But if the drive-through area closed early, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because it's like they make most of their money off drive-through.
Mm-hmm. Or like the Zippy's Kailua. This is the one I didn't get, right? The Zippy's Kailua used to open all night. Or like it would be 24 hours, right? But then after they did the renovations, now they close early. And then for like the restaurant side, I think they close at like 10 or something, which doesn't make sense to me because
Yeah.
and then they made the Zippies smaller. So I don't like that Zippies now. But the Zippies before in Kailua was great. So, I don't know if that was because of COVID or maybe that was just a management decision, but like, or franchise, so some decisions, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, even like Walmart and stuff was like, come on, Walmart used to be open 24 hours. Now they close when COVID hit. It was like we're going to close at 8. Now I think they close at what, I don't know, 10 or something. Like I go there. Hey, Walmart's open. No, it's not. They close at 10.
That's
what?
weird. Because that's what, like I guess my friends and I used to do that. Like we would just go to Walmart late at night. And
Yeah, because nobody's there. You just have fun.
And just foot around with the, like the beach balls or something in the aisles.
You ride the bikes on the aisle. Yeah.
Or throw stuff over the aisles to the next guy. We used to do that.
Yeah, I used to go to Home Depot. Used to be open 24 hours at one point.
Oh, okay.
And I used to go there, and then I think they close at like 10 now. But then when COVID hours was like 7, like what? It didn't make sense, all that closing. It's like they still have night shift. You know what I mean? The night shift comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. None of it made sense.
So like for COVID, going back to like films and stuff like that, how difficult has that made in being able to like be on a set with people or even doing props and stuff like that?
So it's a real pain in the ass now. It's like everybody, like especially for like the bigger productions, they got to test every 4 days. And I know people that they got to go take a COVID test 3 days prior. Whatever they're doing, they got to take off work. They got to go take this COVID test, and then they go on set. And 3 days later, if they pass or fail, it's like ooh. So when we work on it, it's like every 4 days, like test, and it's like okay. I mean, and people are fully vaccinated and they're still testing. It's like, they keep pushing this, moving the goalpost, right? It's like,
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's like, I don't, it's ever going to end or what?
Yeah, because I even seen a report that even like some politicians are saying, why do we have to keep continuing emergency proclamations over and over again? Which doesn't make sense. We're not in an emergency anymore.
Yeah, you look at like Texas and Florida, they're open,
Yeah.
and
Most of the states are open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Or
Hawaii,
they figured it out,
Yeah, Hawaii and a few others are just like this, like pushing the the envelope for this this mass mandate, vax mandates and all that, and it's like that's ridiculous. It's like you see everybody's kind of freedom just disappearing.
I think if for me, it kind of goes back to just I'm not like pro or anti-vax. I'm more pro-choice. So like if people,
Your body, your choice.
yeah, or if people wanted to make in their store, they wanted to put like physical distancing, put some restrictions, make plexiglass. I think that's fine, because if they're concerned, then that should be something that they should want to think about, and they can do that. I think it's because it's their store, but then not like have an overarching thing and says everybody got to do something or everybody has to comply to this, right? That's a bad word, complying, because we live in the United States. There should be freedom. We have rights.
It's the land of the free,
right? Today's Veterans Day, and veterans have fought in wars to protect our freedom. So, why aren't we getting certain freedoms? You know what I mean? That's insulting to the veterans that have risked their lives in these wars,
Yeah.
and or being on duty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
So many people died for, hundreds of thousands of people died,
Mhm.
fighting for freedom.
mhm.
And a lot of people, they don't realize, if they look deep into this whole pandemic, it's like, wow, it's all the stuff that these people fought for is just kind of gone. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
People don't remember that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people that do, but then you get into the whole media thing where everything is silenced and everybody's like just getting banned,
Mhm.
shadow banned, and,
Shadow ban.
and it's real. It's like people don't see that. And
Mhm.
I refer to a lot of people is the frog in the pot.
Mm.
You put a frog in a pot, right? And you slowly increase the temperature,
Oh, okay.
and that he doesn't know until it's too late, and then he's dead.
Because he's just jumping around.
Yeah, because that's like one of the things that people bring up. It's like or the dog on the chain, right? It's like every year you take one of the links away, and then it gets shorter and shorter, and they don't notice. You know what I mean? They just comply.
Yeah, complying. It's conditional.
Yeah, conditioning, indoctrination. That's how I see it. And it's like I see like a lot of my family and friends is like, oh my god, these people are all indoctrinated.
Yeah, because it's in a way it's better for people to notice now, especially now, because like if it gets worse, then what happens when everybody notices and they go, oh my god, we screwed up. You know?
They didn't wake up in time.
Yeah, they didn't wake up in time. So I think as an overarching umbrella to my statement, I think if everybody was just more conscientious about knowing what's going on, with their safety, but not having people comply to what they are believing in.
Yeah.
And that's more pro-choice. That's a pro-choice talk. With Aaron Rodgers, he just got COVID, and he was getting attacked for.
Oh yeah, left and right by
left
everybody.
And right. I mean, he did tell people he was immunized, which it is misleading.
It's vague, yeah.
It's vague, but he's
natural immunity.
Yeah, he's pro-choice, right? And I think that for being judged for being pro-choice, when he already told his coaches, his team, they all knew that he was unvaccinated. But the thing is, these people are just attacking him. Oh, you're lying. You said you're immunized.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It was a vague statement. He should have at least maybe explained what he meant by that. But
the media just smearing him, like CNN and all that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man,
but
it's sad that it's like people can't understand people's choice
yeah, they can't even say, or people are afraid to
or
even
respect
say.
it. Yeah, respect it.
Respect it. Yeah.
His opinion. Because
Mhm.
that's what's gone nowadays. Because then you get that, and you get like all this critical race theory and all that too, and it's like, wow, it's like people get mad now. When they can't have their own opinion and they fight about it.
Because I think even if he said he was, if he wasn't afraid to say he was unvaccinated, then it would have cleared the air. He probably would have said, "Oh, I'm unvaccinated," right? But he had to say immunized just because, in a way, maybe there was a stigma already, and he was already afraid to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm unvaccinated because then there's going to be heavy judgment," and then on both sides, So he, in a way, I think he had to. He felt like he had to say immunized, just to maybe clear the air and not make, just stir the pot. He just wanted to make sure, like, okay, I'm just gonna let people know, like,
Yeah, because once you open that up and it's like boom, maybe it's like
yeah, and that's too much in a way. So I think if people are watching this, pro-choice, I think that's the key to ending a pandemic in a way, because I think the pandemic continues with judgment and all these media outlets just kind of exposing things. It's good to know what's going on, but just being able to have pro-choice if everybody can get on the same page as that, and being able to, if someone is vaccinated, they believe in the vaccination, that's great, but not telling somebody you have to get vaccinated, or like, someone who isn't vaccinated, to tell someone that's vaccinated you shouldn't get vaccinated. I think if there's a way to just come to a conclusion, like they're vaccinated, they're unvaccinated, and then that's it, right? And then move on with people's
Yeah,
lives.
we'll shake hands and we're still friends.
Shake hands, and then just keep going forward. Open up businesses again. That's how the pandemic will stop. Because the pandemic is not. It started off with a virus, but then now it's continued and it's persisted, not because of the virus, but because of people, and government mandates. The divide. All right, house divided will collapse, like what we're seeing right now. So yeah, I think that's my overarching thing for that.
I think it started like when during the elections. Well, I kind of noticed, like, I gotta go back to Star Wars again, but it went back. I noticed there's a lot of divide when people were fighting over the Star Wars movies. Like, I never seen this type of divide in people. But ever since then, I don't know if it's like programming through media and just how the media portrays things and whatnot. But then you get to the elections, right? So much divide and hate there, and then the pandemic, and then you see more divide. It just got worse over the years, and then it's just like, like 5 years ago, it was never like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would never think about this divide and hey, everybody's hunky-dory, but now it's like, wow. I mean, I've lost so much friends, and, family, and it's like, wow, it's crazy, like how this one thing will make people just flip on you.
This one choice.
Yeah, one choice about stuff, and it's just if you're vaccinated or not, if you believe in it, it's like all these guys. You see all these guys in New York, and I think it's L.A. now. They're all the firefighters, the nurses, and doctors. Dude, they're all like marching, and it's like, but then you never see that on like CNN or anything. They don't put it out there, or they put it and it's like real, like, oh, these guys are bad, But then you
There's
get
a
like
narrative.
Yeah, the narrative that certain people, like Fox News does one way, and then CNN does another one. And this, but it's like Fox News on one side is like one little tiny thing. Then you got CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC.
Yeah.
And if you follow like the narrative, it leads back to the Democratic Party, the Biden administration. But then I think it goes farther. But that's going down the rabbit hole. But it's all like it's all pointing in directions.
Yeah, it's
you can
connected.
See. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about like what's sad is that for like these news outlets, before it was like there wasn't as opinionated. It was just these are the facts. This is what's going on. This guy got hit, or look at this cookie over here. You know what I mean? Certain stories like that. Like
now they flip it like, oh, this person, like they turn it into a racial thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like this whole George Floyd thing. That's another thing that was within that divide of the country, was when the George Floyd thing happened. People just went batshit crazy. You have all these uprisings of BLM, Antifa, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And in a way, it's like it put people in these battlegrounds.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because we shouldn't be divided on an issue like that, with race especially. I mean, that's making us go backwards in a way, going back to where slavery was a prominent thing. So that's making us go backwards. But then it should just be like, we all know slavery, we all know racism is wrong, slavery is wrong. Let's just move forward with it. Let's just be more progressive with how we handle situations with people, And then I think one big problem is that people online are so easy to just point out something. They just go,
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, these people dropped the bomb, right? These people are bad. They dropped the bomb. Okay, what are you doing to solve that problem? What are you doing to help it out? You know what I mean? And then like, I made a video on Instagram. It was before I stopped did my break on Instagram. But I kind of went into like Black Lives Matter. I was telling people like, hey, it's good to support these causes and support people, but understand the history. There's people that have been part of Black Lives Matter movements for generations. But the thing is, there shouldn't be a gang mentality where everybody kind of builds together and goes, hey, yeah, screw these people. They don't believe in Black Lives Matter. Like, no, just support the cause as is, and don't make all these battlegrounds about it. Learn about it first before you say something, and then just
do your research.
Do your research.
Understand both sides.
Right. Understand both sides. Understand the history, because without understanding the history of it, we go backwards. We go back to the times where it becomes acceptable to go and say, hey, like for slavery, like it becomes a norm, and then that's why there's battlegrounds today. There's like battlegrounds with COVID and stuff. It's becoming the norm, which that should be broken up, in my opinion. I don't know if maybe some people want to keep it a battleground kind of thing, like a divided thing.
In a way, I think they're pushing for that because it's like you see us going backwards with this whole vax mandate, and it's like, wow, this is going back to like Rosa Parks, and then almost like the Nazi stuff because it's like, hey, show me your papers, right? Or it's like putting a star on you,
right?
And like, hey, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come in here, or you go in the back of the bus, like
segregation.
Yeah, segregation is back. And it's like, wow, history does repeat itself. Now it's just like a different, form.
It's not racist anymore. It's what you choose to do with your body.
Yeah,
and that I think that's even. I mean, you're born with, with racism, you're born as a different race. But then now with pro-choice with your body, it's like, oh, now I can't think for myself now.
Yeah. You watched the Hodge twins, right?
I didn't see that.
You ever see those guys? So they're two guys, but they're black and white. Yeah, I think white mother and black father.
Yeah.
So they can say all this racist stuff about black people because they're black.
Yeah.
They're funny guys. You should check them out.
Hodge twins. Actually, that sounds familiar. Maybe I did see.
They go, yeah, we got a good show for you tonight.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. Yeah. I'll check them out.
Yeah, they got these beards and always wear
Okay.
hats and stuff.
Okay, yeah. I think I did see. I don't know if I saw the full episode, but I did see something like a video on that. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch them out.
Yeah, they're funny. And then it's like they can say all this stuff about black people and because they're part black, right?
And then the thing is, like with humor, so like with comedians, I listen to a lot of like Tiger Belly, with Bobby Lee and stuff. And I remember him saying about like comedians these days, it's a little harder because before, it was kind of wide open. You can talk about whatever, right? And it's a joke, but then now comedians these days,
everything is, you got to watch what you say.
Yeah, it's very censored.
Like Chappelle.
Yeah, Chappelle. Because he got slandered for his last special, and I was thinking,
and Netflix wanted. Oh no, the people at Netflix wanted to cancel him. The cancel culture now that's another thing.
Yeah. Why not just not maybe like accept it. I think that there's a way to evolve that instead
they
of
just don't have to watch.
Yeah.
They can turn the channel.
They don't have to point out what he's doing. Yeah, they can turn the channel. They don't have to watch it. They choose to watch his special. You know what I mean? And then they can talk about it. And then they want to slander him about it, right? Yeah. Versus he went on there and he got paid to do that. You know what I mean? And he could do whatever he wants, right? Because he's
a star.
That's the show. Yeah, he's a star. People paid to go see him, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with comedians, right? It's hard these days to even spin that whole narrative with comedy because people have to censor themselves or they feel like they have to because for their careers or whatever, unless you're like someone like me who doesn't give a shit, you just talk about whatever. Yeah,
because there's not even really big comedians anymore because they can't say things, right? So it's like they're popular for anything. Like I was thinking about this the other day too. I was watching Eddie Murphy So I grew up with Eddie Murphy doing his comedy, and everything he said back then, you can't say it today because everything would be so bad. Everything is so racist, and it's like, wow, people would just be having a fit. So,
yeah, it's just this mentality, I think, today with people, with how they, I don't know, it's this gang mentality, I think, these battleground mentality. It just has to break up, and then just getting back to a norm where it's everybody can think for themselves and have their own opinions, and we can be accepting of that, I think.
I mean, I got canceled by my friends, and this is like when this whole divide started, right? And then I would say what I believe, right? I posted what I believe, and I get all these people saying, like, hey, we don't agree, and blah blah blah, and we're gonna make it so you don't have a job anymore. I'm like, wow, you're threatening my livelihood now because of my opinion.
Yeah.
You just can't debate with me. You're just gonna cancel me.
Just cancel you.
And I was like, wow. And this guy I was talking to him was like, dude, why are you threatening me like this? And it's like, we're friends, and you're gonna simply cancel me because of something I said or my beliefs?
Yeah.
And I was like, and then he goes on this whole rant, and I'm like, like screen grab. And it's like, I don't want to blast people, but it's like at the same time, it's like, wow, dude. I mean, and then I see like my friends just like disappear. Like, well, it's like, well, okay, it's like, I'm not gonna delete anybody. If they want to delete me, that's fine. Because they weren't growing up enough to understand.
Yeah.
So
or accepting.
Yeah. And then more stuff I post, and I would get banned from social media. Social media posts, I would be like, wow, censored, and like, hey, you get a strike against you. I'm like, oh, wow. But, that's something I found in the actual news.
Yeah, it was a meme, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like these memes, everything is now just like very offensive.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm on like a 60-day ban on my Facebook. So I'm like, wow, okay.
Well, that was even weird for like, so there was one of the ones you were telling me you got banned, but I looked at it and I was like, that doesn't seem offensive at all.
And it's getting more ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's like this algorithm, that's out there that, it's just it flags things, but it not only flags text now, it flags memes, it flags pictures, Like I posted something about a Nazi thing, and any kind of Nazi picture, banned.
See, that's sad because, I think that something like Instagram or Facebook, it's freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Like MySpace was great because people could put whatever crap they want. They could decorate their page too, which I loved.
Yeah.
They could decorate their page.
I learned HTML and all that.
Yeah. And we didn't have these kind of
issues.
These issues where people are afraid to post whatever.
Yeah.
But then now we've gotten to a point where Facebook's changing their company name to Meta, and then they're creating this whole thing. We could talk about that later, but yeah, my issue with that, I have an issue with that, but yeah, it's getting to a point where it's kind of, it's too much. We got to tone it back a little bit. Everybody has to tone back, and
everybody got to take a step back and
take a step back and see what's going on. Because we're destroying ourselves, literally. We're destroying the U.S. in a way because we're destroying our society. People are afraid to. It's becoming more of like. It may sound extreme to some people, but we're becoming more of a communist,
socialist state.
Yeah, a socialist state where we have to censor everything we're saying, and that's not what we should be doing. We should be more liberal. We should be going a direction where where people who are veterans who fought for our country, for our freedoms. We should be going into that environment, and yeah, I don't know. That's something that I think people are going backwards on.
Yeah, because like you said, going back to the whole veteran thing, is like, dude, that's where this country was founded on. It was people fighting against socialists and like monarchies and all that. And it's like I don't know, people don't remember history, or like it's not taught anymore, or it's it's changed, right? Everything that they're teaching now is different. They want to teach certain things that were taught in my time are not even taught anymore. And it's like, wow, like our history is disappearing, and it's like, dude, if these people don't remember these kind of things, it's like that's why, what do all these people fight for? We forget all them, we forget all the things that they've done.
Yeah. And in a way, it's like, for at least here, it's like systematic in a way, where it's like the example of the dog and the chain, right? It's slowly
Take away a link,
taking away that link, right? Breaking that system, news report by news report, until to the point where it's like, oh, now we're in a completely socialist country, and we don't have anything anymore. Now we can't think for ourselves, Like,
I have a few neighbors. He's from Vietnam, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, man, this thing that's happening to the U.S. now is like what I ran away from when I left Vietnam, because during the war, the Americans brought them over like on their ships and stuff, and he says this is the same thing that's happening. People don't know that, because if they lived in like a communist country like Cuba and Vietnam and Russia, like and I've met people from all those countries, and they told me they see what's going on, and it's like, wow, this is socialism just rising. And it's like, wow, people got to wake up.
Yeah, people got to wake up. So, since we have the platform right now, what would you want to tell like people, like an overarching statement for like something like that? Like with freedoms and how our society should be kind of going back to or transforming into now. What would you say?
I would say, like, in the last 2 years, like, man, it's like every day I wake up, it's like, is this a nightmare that I'm in? It's like all these rules and all this, hate and divide, and it's like, wow, I don't really like this world that we're living in, and I have a daughter, and I don't want her growing up in this kind of thing. And I kind of want to, push that so we don't have this in the future. I want her to grow up where it's a good place. It's not this place where you just feel worse every day, depressed. You know what I mean?
Or you're in a jail.
Yeah, it's like, land of the free, right? USA. And it's like, you look at like the Constitution, right? It's we the people. So that's what the people got to understand, is that we the people, not the government. So the people got to stand up. If people don't stand up, they just keep watching CNN and it's like,
mindlessly,
and then they forget that, and then that's when we're gonna lose. So it's the people, but they got to remember that. They got to go say, we the people.
Well, to wrap things up, we should end this off with a shot. Which one do you want to drink?
Well, let's do some Pinnacle.
You want to do Pinnacle?
Yeah.
How do I do this? You wanna? How big of a shot? I don't know how big of a shot.
Oh, this is nothing. This is not strong. Here, I'll do yours first.
Okay.
Who's the bartender here? Kelsey?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, put it at the top of the cup.
That's good. Hey, product over here.
Product placement.
Product placement. You ever mix Pinnacle with like oh sheesh. Oops. Oh, that's good. With like sponsored by now. Pinnacle's not. Hey, if Pinnacle wants to sponsor, I'm down.
You can mix this with anything. So you can mix it with orange juice. I was telling like orange whip.
Yeah, orange juice is what
there's an orange whip I was gonna get, but I was like, no. You can try this with everything. You can put like acai or blueberries.
I
or
never tried with
bananas.
acai. I had it with orange juice though.
Yeah.
Like a screwdriver.
A screwdriver, yeah. It's almost like an orange whip.
Yeah.
But you try this with anything and everything. It's like ice cream. Put it with ice cream and stuff.
I never tried it with ice cream.
Oh, it's good.
But you probably have really big like stomach ache though.
Yeah. But it'll be worth it.
Anything you want to shout out before we end off, or like any plans, anything that you're coming up with? Maybe the movie.
We got a bunch of films we're working on. We're working for a lot of indie films, some Netflix stuff. I do small projects like behind the scenes and stuff like that, and so I try to get all these little jobs and stuff like that because I like doing like different things a lot.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And then I get into like doing like solar and off-grid stuff and electrical like e-bikes and scooters.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because I don't know, we're supposed to have everything electrical by 2030. Or so they say.
That's coming kind of fast, actually.
I know. I was like, whoa, we're almost there. Not going to happen. Because you got all these guys with the muscle cars and stuff, right? It's like, oh, you still got these gas guzzlers that are like awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Tesla is really helping with that. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is good. We have guys like Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, he's like the real Tony Stark.
Yeah. He really is. Yeah. He's gonna be the next Iron Man. I will predict that.
Oh man, he can change the fate of things just by a tweet.
Yeah. Literally.
Have you noticed that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he lost 50 billion in one day.
Yeah.
Because he made a tweet. Well, I'm gonna sell.
Well, this is to before we end
New
off.
beginnings.
New beginnings. To all the veterans
Awesome
out there.
sets.
Yeah, awesome set. To all the veterans out there, men and women, thank you for protecting our rights and for myself and even for yourselves as well. And then this is to you, Keoni, for your future projects, movies, production, people that are not divas that you don't have to work with. And this is to your success, as a prop maker and maybe even future director, with your own films and stuff. So,
And helping Kelsey get up there. And
yeah, as a Jedi.
yeah.
I was gonna say that one for Steve, because I need to ask him that question about that. But yeah, this is to you and whatever you're doing, in the future. Kampai.
Kampai.